videos from Shoe on Head. I haven't had a chance to react to any of these yet. First one she put out got Hassan Piker to just go absolutely ape shit. So anything that drives him round the bend has got to be a good thing, yeah? But it's called the Male Protector Fantasy. Is it incel to want to be a father? I know the answer to that. It's no. But let's see what Commie Mummy has to say.
Your eggs are drying up. If you're a woman online, you have probably heard that many times. Perhaps this image haunts you at night. It is a true fact that women's fertility begins to decline at age 30, and they suddenly wake up and get what we call baby fever. But what about the men? Do their sperms rot? Do their balls shrivel up into little raisins and die?
Not really.
Do they wake up one day and get baby fever? Do men have a biological clock in the same way women do?
No, not quite, but we do have a natural urge to want to be fathers, to have children, all that good stuff, yeah. How are you not crashing? I've got a really powerful PC, and I made sure the specs were fairly future-proof. But, yeah, it's natural. And, you know, we men have a certain biological advantage that we remain fertile even into our elder years.
I've briefly joked about this in videos before. In fact, a clip of mine from a video I did a few months ago actually went viral recently thanks to the VTuber Smugalana.
Ah, yes, the male biological clock. It's not
Smugalana, the other Foxu, the other base Foxu out there. Yeah. These two reaching out to Smugalana publicly and saying, "Oi, Alana, check your DMs, girl." Basically saying, "Get in, loser, we're going to do a collab together."
physical, but spiritual.
Men will deny this, but they absolutely have a biological clock. It may not hit in your teens or your 20s, but one day you're going to have a dream. You have a little daughter making pancakes with your wife in the morning, and you're not going to be able to get it out of your head.
Oh my God.
And the comments were full of men discussing their
she's not wrong. You know, that as the older we get, the more the male version of baby fever starts to set in, and you start to focus less on, you know, the day-to-day, the trivial, and you start thinking about legacy. You start thinking about passing on something to the future. That switch just sort of gets flipped on the moment you do have a child and just sort of stays in place fully. But, you know, the longer you wait, the more that still small voice becomes louder and louder.
Dreams to start a family. There is not much discussion about men's desire to have children. Like many things, it's not really something they talk about publicly. That was until a certain video game came out.
Yes. Pragmata.
I am DI-03367, a state-of-the-art pragmata created here at the Cradle. I possess basic
Still haven't
life
played this game. Probably need to do that.
How about we call you Diana?
Diana?
Pragmata is a sci-fi action game where you play as astronaut Hugh Williams, who is sent to investigate an abandoned moon base.
It looks like
He
a
meets
really
a
good
childlike
game.
android named Diana.
I mean, storyline aside, and, you know, the whole Space Daddy Simulator thing going on, it does look like it's a really fun, action-packed game. You raided into someone I watch, can't remember who, but I thought I'd come to see what you had to say. Seem to have a good head on your shoulders. Keep it up, man. Appreciate what you're doing. Well, Giaffis, thank you so much for checking in over there on Kick. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the words of encouragement. Trying to do my best here. People really seem to like it. I mean, it's Capcom. Of a lot of the AAA studios out there, Capcom's not really known for making terrible games. They still put out some bangers from time to time.
And they team up to survive and escape the space station. Along the way, they uncover what went wrong and defeat the bad guys, all while forming a strong emotional bond.
As cute as a button.
I'm counting on you, kiddo.
But it seems to have awakened something deep within gamers.
That's
especially
wholesome.
male
That's good
gamers.
wholesome stuff.
The urge to get married and have kids.
Oh, I think I'll follow that chap.
I'm not planning on getting married and having kids, but damn, this game is like fatherhood calling to me. Is this how women feel about their biological clocks? This game makes me want a daughter. What is this feeling inside me? It can't be. It's like, I want to protect. It's like, I want to be a dad.
Give in to that feeling. Fulfill your biological mandate. Make Shinzo Abe proud.
They won me over. The white baby makes me feel paternal. I will burn anyone and anything that tries to harm her. This game is dragging out the...
Yeah, if you're a dad, sons or daughters, someone comes after them, you will set the whole fucking world on fire just to protect your children and the ones you love.
innate dad instinct. I want to like Pragmata, but I can't, knowing that men are also enjoying it.
Oh, here we go.
This is a game for incels.
They're just throwing out the word incel when this is the opposite of incel behavior. They're just throwing it out as an insult, and they are either knowingly or unknowingly engaging and perpetuating a mate suppression psyop. That's what this is. That's what we can sum this up as. This is a mate suppression psyop. Not the game itself.
Babe, wake up!
The response
it's time for
to
your yearly gamer culture war slap. It's 2014 forever, man. We are never going to escape Mr. Gamergate's wild ride. In this video,
I mean, we can. It's just going to require unfathomable levels of things we're not legally allowed to talk about, especially on a stream, without, glowing as brightly as Chernobyl after the meltdown. They refuse to understand proper definitions of words they use. They are literally the meme. They are literally the meme from Freerun. To them, words are just another means to deceive humans.
we are going to discuss the facts and theories behind the so-called male biological clock after we discuss the drama surrounding the game Pragmata and how a bunch of men expressing a simple, wholesome desire, the desire to start a family, has turned into yet another culture war. Yet another gender war. The gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, dealing with dating apps, hookup culture. Do men like curvy or thin women? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean shaven? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before we get deeper into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Henson Shaving.
Sponsor
For the last few
time.
decades, razors haven't been designed to work better. They've been designed to be
Okay, for a woman who's supposed to be a leftist, she really knows how to rock the whole trad wife look. She really does. Mega props to Shu for the sort of trad vintage wife look here. I can dig it. I can dig it. Still convinced that Shinzo Abe reached out from beyond, deflected that bullet meant for Trump and Butler with the power of their genuine friendship. Might be onto something. Might be onto something. Perhaps Shinzo Abe is a sort of guardian angel for Trump.
marketed better. More features, more gimmicks, more blades. Just add one more blade,
I
bro.
think in our head
one more
canon that
blade, I
makes
promise,
sense.
deal with. And a major cause for irritation. Oh, let's get back to the video. Throughout history, there have been
Oh, great. She didn't give us a hard time about skipping the sponsor.
countless stories centered around a very specific dynamic. The adult protector and a child. You see it everywhere. In video games, they call it a dad simulator. The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, God of War, Detroit Become Human, BioShock, Life is Strange. Also movies like Logan, True Grit, in a way, Monsters Inc. Shows like The Mandalorian. Literature has done it forever with The Road, Les Miserables, and many, many others. It shows up time and time again because it taps into something deeply human. The instinct
And that's the sort of thing that makes for great novels, great films, great television. Abe didn't do anything. He just showed up in Trump's peripheral and he turned to look.
to protect, to guide, to teach, to nurture something more vulnerable than yourself. It is a beautiful and powerful story that has been told for centuries. And you're like really weird and an incel for enjoying it, actually. Incel game.
Yeah,
if you
no,
buy this
no, we're
game,
not.
I'm gonna assume you are a pedophile. I feel like it's a breach of ethics.
Yeah, there's the other thing. Throwing around the pedo accusation. They don't really mean it. They just know that that is a word that has certain magical powers that they can throw it around, and it stops people from calling them out on their certain people from calling them out on their bullshit and, completely ratioing them and mogging them in the comments. Or so they think. I don't think it has as much power as it used to.
At this point to design child characters for an audience of majority male gamers.
Why would you say something like that? This sort of sounds like you're projecting something. This kind of sounds like you're projecting something. Kind of sounds like you've got something you want to share with the class that might not be entirely legal.
Like, let's stop with the defenseless girl the big strong man has to protect. This reeks of sexism and control.
No, it's just biological realities. Girls are smaller and weaker than men, and, you know, it's natural for us to want to protect them. We want to protect wives and daughters. And protect our sons, too. You know, there's this whole thing, not just to make sure that our progeny continue to carry on our genes throughout into the future, but, you know, there's this little thing called the love of family. You know, that is a real thing. Perhaps these people haven't heard of it. You know, perhaps they were a bit unloved and neglected as children. So that's why they're going on like this. Perhaps they've got some mummy and daddy issues that they need to resolve with their therapist. You know, an actual good therapist, not one that's just going to tell them the same solution they tell everybody else, that you need to take hormones and, you know, lop off your breasts or cut off your penis or something like that. You know, might be some unresolved mummy and daddy issues here. Might be some unresolved issues. Might have been paying a bit too much attention and taking a bit too seriously what the aging hippies that were teaching the classes at university were babbling on about. They're watering down that word by overusing it, in turn doing harm to real victims of PDFs. Yes, they are. But I also think that's the point for a lot of them. I think, you know, much like the people who bang on about this so often, sort of like the thing with being so anti-lolicon that you've got these cancel culture mobs that move to destroy people over it, and it turns out the loudest voices so often turn out to be pedos themselves. It's really funny how that works. I'm sort of convinced at this point that the people who are the loudest about this sort of thing are actually hiding something themselves. They've got something to hide, and so they're trying to throw everyone off the scent. I can't be the only one who's noticing. Because it reveals itself every time. To them, intimacy is a resource. Raising a family unit limits that resource for them. It's all projection. What a sad way to look at intimacy as some sort of zero-sum game. You know, much like an economy, which if they look at it in terms of economy, that's even worse. That's even more pathetic. But it's not a situation where there's only so many slices of the pie that you can divvy up. You just bake a bigger pie. Intimacy is not really something you can quantify. It's something that grows, and well, realistically, it waxes and wanes over the years. But it's not a zero-sum game. True, notice that too. Same with male feminists that turn out to be women beaters and abusers. Yes, there is no greater sex pest out there than the male feminist. They're using feminism as a cover to be a sneaky fuck.
I hate these father simulator games. They always give me the creeps.
Do they give you the creeps though? But are you just saying that because you want to villainize certain people because you've got an irrational fear of men?
This is low-genuinely fascist propaganda and
Loca genuinely, what the fuck? That's not even a word.
gives me pedo vibes.
Again, you're throwing out these words, and they have no meaning. They are just a means to deceive people. You're a lying little fuck. You are a lying, deceitful little fuck that is just using words because you think it'll stop people from asking hard questions.
Wouldn't it be cool if I sneezed right now? Fascist propaganda. If this is fascist propaganda.
I wouldn't point the scissors in the direction of your eyes. I mean, I would point it in the other direction, but, you know, I can't get into too much detail because, again, I would start to glow.
Slap me and call me Adolf. Zoomer women really look at a wholesome game involving a child and wait, what the f is low-genuinely? After hearing about toxic
the world wants to know. That's not even a word. Unless they were... I mean, it sounds like they were literally trying to shoehorn some sort of dig at the late Charlie Kirk in there.
Masculinity for the past, 15 years now, finally a topic comes up where it's overwhelmingly positive masculinity. And what is the response?
I think the funniest thing about the pragmatic controversy is that those incels genuinely think they could ever get near enough to a woman to impregnate one. It's not new.
Well, yes, they can, and they will, unlike you, who will probably die alone. Undeservedly so. It is low-key, genuinely, and Charlie Kirk shoved into a word. Yeah, and they didn't do a very good job of it either. It's like if you're going to make up a new word, at least make something that kind of rolls off the tongue. So now we have not only the fact that the leftists can't meme, they also can't even really make up good words anymore. They're not sending their best.
Response to Pragmata is blatant pedophilia catered to male gooner gamers.
No, it's not. Again, you're throwing out words, hoping that they'll have some sort of magical effect, when really, you're just a cunt, you're full of shit, and you're probably going to die alone and be devoured by your cats. So, congratulations. You fell for the mate suppression psyop, and now you're going to die alone. Hope it was worth it. Welcome in, Phalanx. Good to see you.
Why are people thinking this is sexual or makes you a pedophile? Because men are notorious for being peds and disgusting humans?
Maybe some of the men that you run into? I mean, I'm sorry you were traumatized and developed an unhealthy fear of men, an obsession with all things misandry as a result. I'm sorry you might have possible unresolved daddy issues.
They sexualize everything?
No, we
You are
don't.
not very smart.
If anything, it's the women that are more likely to sexualize everything. The only one who's not very smart here, girly pop, is you. The generalization is strong. Yeah, such is the way of things in some circles of X.
A lot of loser males who often turn to gaming are pedos. It is an unconscious strategy to avoid competing with chat, as well as complementing their own pure attorneyness.
Oh, look at you with the fancy Latin words. Oh, you think you throw out a couple of Latin words and all of a sudden you're a smart cookie, yeah? I hate this. Is pure midwit behavior right here. People who think that they can throw out these terms, not even really know what they mean, but it's like, well, this will make me sound smarter than everyone, so I'm going to use these words in the hopes that you don't look to dig too deep into it, and don't eventually call me out on my bullshit, and you don't question it too much. That you just look at me with awe because I know the magic words that make me sound smart. Probably isn't even a trauma response. Could be just what they were told to believe. Yes, sometimes the more simpler explanation is the true one. It is quite possible that they are just saying that because someone told them to believe that, and they were stupid enough to fall for it.
Stalled development. What? Y'all are full of shit talking about dad instincts and whatever.
No, flags and bio detected, opinion rejected. Out of hand. I don't care what flags they are at this point, but especially this fucking shit right here. No, just no. Opinion rejected. Your argument is completely invalidated.
We know why the f you want to play the game. You want to crack the little blonde bimbo slut.
No, you are really projecting, and also trans flag detected. Not beating those pedo allegations. You're never beating the allegations. This is projection right here, especially when you're making references to cracking eggs. Is this Nyada VT that is tweeting this out? I bet it's Nyada.
What? This character design creeps me out. Why does she look like a doll?
Because she's an android. If you had bothered to even look into what the fuck the story is, you would know this is not an organic being. This is an android. She's a robot. She's a robot with a really sophisticated AI.
Why is this blonde child with a blowout running around barefoot? I've not yet played the game. Is this expanded on in the plot? Or is this just eye candy?
I have not yet played it. Yeah, clearly, you reveal yourself with a lot of these stupid questions.
For creeps.
I feel like I'm going
Flags detected, opinion rejected is a new phrase I will be using. Oh yes, use it all the time because it never fails. And it is to the point now, I don't care what flags are in your bio. I mean, we know the big ones. The trans flag, the Palestinian flag, the Canadian flag. Unfortunately, for some Britbongs, use of the UK flag, the Union Jack. It's just, at this point, any flags, and yeah, it's just no. Opinion rejected. Opinion rejected. Out of hand. I don't care what it is at this point. It's like flags and bio detected, opinion rejected. US flag might be okay. See, I don't even know about that. Because too often I have seen people with the US flag in the bio, and it's a lot of shit tier boomer takes on things. Very much out of touch. Or it's clickbaity boomer slop. So that one's not even safe anymore. And it's sad. Because flags are pretty cool. Flags usually show some far-flung takes. Yes. Oftentimes so far-flung that the people flying those flags, you check where the account is based in. It's like, oh, that's not matching up with the flag you're flying. What's up with that? Your flag is the least interesting thing about you. Yes, that's why I don't really fly a flag, whether it is the Union Jack or the Stars and Stripes. I have my Oshi marks, and that is it. And as of late, I have even been wondering, you know what? I wonder if I should just take off the Oshi marks. I love my country, I hate my government. I love your country, I hate your government. Yeah. No, we love our countries. We're just not a big fan of the government. 30 on 30.
Insane. She just looks like a cute kid to me. Like, that is just literally a cute little kid. I do
Yeah.
not see the sexualization, and I am a huge pervert, mind you. I do not see.
Yes, I'm a bit of a degen myself, and all I see is every mother or father's dream of the ideal daughter to, you know, raise and send off to school, and then eventually it's like, okay, when are you going to settle down and give us some grandchildren, please? Technically not a kid, an android. Yes. Yeah, if anyone does any cursory analysis of the Pragmata story, you will find out very quickly Diana's an android. This is not an organic being that we're looking at. This is an artificial life form, an android. I see daughter, not mate. That's insane. Yes, I see daughter. I see someone's niece. But that's because we are normal fucking human beings.
What the f these people are talking about? Are there creepy people on the internet who are sexualizing Diana?
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. It is a small minority, but it is still disgusting. In fact,
I mean, it's going to be there. We've all just sort of come to expect it. And we call out and we mug the perversion, and we're just like, you know, we've got a wood chipper over here, mate. You keep that up. We're happy to feed you in feet first. Oh, you don't want that? Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Reddit had to be shut down because people were making not safe for work art of this child.
Yeah,
which
that's not
honestly is
okay.
not shocking. It's Reddit. That's not
I mean, it's not really... fuck all, man. Usually there's people on Reddit, yes. Redditors get the wood chipper.
game's fault. The game has nothing creepy in it. These
No.
creepy people will always exist, unfortunately. I have made several videos about these people existing. People getting mad here are
course
not
it's
getting
Reddit,
mad
yes.
at the people sexualizing Diana. That would be completely understandable. It would make sense if they were going to the accounts that were doing that and calling them creeps, but no. They're for some reason just getting mad at people liking and enjoying the game. They're just spurging out and randomly calling everyone and anyone incels.
Why did they make her look like a porn star, though?
Why is the child sexy? Are you okay? These Twitter freaks.
No, they're not okay. They are most definitely not okay. These people are not okay. These are not well people that we're dealing with. These are people that, when we used to have functioning societies, we would ship them off to a sanitarium and lock them away in a padded room and keep them doped up out of their mind on tranquilizers to where they would no longer be a problem for anyone ever again. And frankly, we need to go back to that. We really need to go back to that with a lot of people. We need to make the asylums great again.
A child, immediately sexualize them and think everyone else is as creepy as they are. Like, no, bitch, that's you. And
Yeah.
Reddit. You and Reddit. There is nothing in this video.
Yes, you are projecting, and you are on a form of social media bulletin boards that are just engaging in pure projection. The manufacturing a narrative that they can be angry at. Yeah, it is It is classic examples of hashtag first world problems. They have almost all of their primary needs and a lot of their material needs provided for. And in their idleness, they are now having to invent things to be upset about.
Game that caters to the freaks except for the fact that Diana is a child. Compare that to like Cuties, where there were up closes of real children twerking. That is media. That is catering to those people. An article recently came out from the outlet The Gamer that in the beginning talks about what happened on the Reddit and how disgusting some people are being toward
You don't hate the media enough. We should just fence off entire sections of our countries and drop them in there. Yeah. Or maybe just geo-fence off India and just dump them all there.
towards the character Diana. Okay, fair enough, I agree. But then towards the end, the author throws in something very telling.
I have not yet played Pragmata, and that's because I'm a little tapped out on stories where men adopt daughter-like figures and prove their masculinity by protecting them.
Then why are you even here? Why are we even talking about this? You haven't even played the fucking game, and you're writing an article in an irrelevant game journalism website. Why the fuck are you even here? And why are we even bothering to read this or listen to you? You haven't even played the game. Then your argument is completely invalid and irrelevant. Come back to me when you played it. Come back to me when you played it. Actually, you know what? Don't even bother coming back to me once you've played it. I'm really not interested because I'm fairly certain I know what you're going to say, and I'm still not interested. Fuck off.
That is their real problem. Men protecting people. That's just them proving their masculinity. And as we
Oh god, we can't have that now, can we? Oh, the horror. Actually surprising what gets brought up as super degen and the real super degen is literally ignored. Yeah, absolutely. It is an upside down world that we live in, where people are wanting to criminalize drawings, but we're not, and ban anime, but we're not going to do anything about actual sex criminals, about actual pedos out there. And we're still not getting justice for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Make it make sense. It is seriously fucked up priorities out there. We're not doing anything about actual sex criminals. We're not doing anything about rape gangs. We're not doing anything about Jeffrey Epstein. We're just all expected to just go tra-la-la-la-la, you know, just go out and live our lives though everything's all right, and all this isn't happening when it is happening. But, oh my god, Capcom releases a video game with a cute little girl that you sort of adopt as a daughter who's actually not even an organic being, she's just an android, and a sizable chunk of the internet just loses their shit over it. Make it make sense. Believe we'd done this before. Well, not us exactly. Australia was the result. Yeah, and look where that got us. Just look at how Australia reacted in the aftermath of recent terrorist attacks, or even COVID-19. You know, they so many of them go about trying to act like the British equivalent of the redneck, and the best they can manage is govern me harder, daddy. It's pathetic.
all know masculinity bad.
Blatantly not fuel, whether you agree with it or not.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Brit bongs. Here's another overused term that's losing all of its meaning. Calling anything and anyone nonsense, which is just Brit bong speak for calling someone a pedo. Again, I'm sick of it. I've seen the big issue is any country that has a problem eventually will experience a massive overcorrection. Yeah, and I think so much of it is just not allowing so many things to take their course. We've got too many psychopaths in power who are such control freaks about everything that, I mean, my God, we haven't even had a proper recovery and correction from the '08 financial crisis because everyone just lost their shit over that. When if we had just let the whole global economy reset itself, it would have been fine after a year. But no, too many people concerned about saving themselves, saving their own shit, and also politician obsessed over making sure that boomers never have a bad day on the market ever again, that we don't just let things take their course. When we also don't seem to realize that so much of the control that we think we exercise and that we desire is really just an illusion. It's not there, and it's not going to work because you can't fight nature, and you can't fight forces that are bigger than you, whether it's market forces or whatever.
The average attraction trope on a little girl, blonde, blue eyes. I mean, the whole game is low-key Nazi propaganda, to be fair. I think the men who play this are probably creepy, but how is it Nazi propaganda?
The men who play this are not creepy, and it's not Nazi propaganda. It just isn't. Again, you're throwing around words, and they have no meaning, but you're hoping that it will have a sort of magical power. It's just spellcasting at this point. As Leaflet says, just spellcasting.
Blonde, blue-eyed toddler and tiaras looking white girl you have to save is literally Nazi propaganda straight out of the 1930s, dude.
No, it isn't, dude. You're just a fucking retard.
Dude, sorry, I don't see it. Ugh, I really don't have the energy to deal with this. Just use your brain.
How about you use your brain? Again, you're being a fucking retard. Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, I don't have the energy to explain my schizophrenic paranoid delusion. Good. I don't have the energy to listen to it. Listen.
Yeah, we're not. The world is not interested. The world is just not interested. Brain? Yeah, no. Good point. I don't think there is a brain here. I'm not even sure there's any brain cells. Buzzwords go. Yeah.
And I know we're all used to seeing gay, black, Hispanic, disabled furries in media lately, but I promise you, white people still exist. It's not.
I'm not interested in that. I'll never be interested in seeing that sort of thing. I'll never get used to that sort of thing because I don't want that sort of thing in my media. I want normal fucking people in my media. To borrow a quote from William Shatner as Denny Crane in Boston Legal, I prefer to have pretty people in my media. Pretty people make me aroused, and I do my best work when I'm aroused. And I'm tired of ugly people being in my media. I'm sick of it. I don't want ugly people in my media. I also don't want whites to be a minority in media, and I'm tired of seeing. Frankly, I'm tired of seeing a lot of mixed race couples, or brown and nothing but brown and black people in adverts. And I'm tired of seeing white people being used as the butt of every joke in adverts or in any sort of media. I want to see majority white people back in media once again. I don't want to feel like I'm being erased even from popular media. The Porsche is smarter than this fool. One of my shoes is smarter than that fool. Brain use too high, they're digging deeper than is even necessary. There goes my chance, lol. Of course the Porsche is a servant of the Foxu. Yes. Tired of so many things is not even funny. Yes, we kind of are all suffering from everything fatigue. We're tired, we're just suffering from everything fatigue at this point. The propaganda spin is digging too deep, finding nothing, then planting evidence. Now, again, at some point, these people just have to start making shit up in order to justify their shitty attitudes about everything.
Nazi propaganda.
I feel like this girl character is an objectification of the idealized child. She's pulled right from the patriarchal white supremacist imagination.
Again, with the buzzwords here. Again, with the spellcasting of the buzzwords here. Also funny that the PFP makes them look like some sort of tradwife or a doll from the 1950s. It's as though secretly she craves to be dominated by a big, strong man. Assuming, of course, that is a she. Back to the wilds. Oh, wait, they've launched the ticks to trap us. Yeah, because God forbid you have a steak or a hamburger. Content farming. Yeah, probably. Just, it's an e-whore who's talking at this point. They keep crying white when the game was made in Japan, correct? Yes. Funny how that works. Produce the next white generation. And your point?
The perfect, pure white girl child that must be protected so she can produce the next white generation.
Again, saying all this like it's some sort of bad thing. Ah, good. She saw it as well. Yes, we can take those unsolicited opinions from the online prostitutes and chuck them in the rubbish bin.
Anyway.
Funny how y'all have paternal instincts for a child with a model woman's face plastered on it.
That's what you do when you create three-dimensional characters in a video game.
Make her look like an actual kid with missing teeth, short hair, bare face, snot, and see if those instincts kick in the same. This
Spoiler alert, they do.
game is openly catering to pedos. The gaslighting is over.
Wait,
Also, Android, the next generation, can only be manufactured. Yeah, there's sad little undertone of a message there, isn't it? Damn right we protect our children, unlike the rest. Quite so. Shoehornhead is merciless, hence why she's admired. Finally, someone pulls out the waist spin. Yeah, but she is an admitted leftist, but damn if she doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like one of the few sensible leftists that remain on the planet. And that's really unfortunate.
trying to follow the logic here. Let me just give myself some brain damage.
Don't do that, dear.
So we make
Also, that's a rather expensive microphone. It'd be a pity to break it. Though I've seen lately she's gotten herself a new one. She's gotten rid of the Blue Yeti and switched over to Audio Technica, which I think sounds even better. And I think she's mounted it up on a studio boom arm or something like that, which, you know, I guess that's all right. It's kind of hard to beat the aesthetics of the desk microphone, which sort of pioneered going back to the days of Johnny Carson and The Tonight Show. That's whenever you see that, that's usually where that's a reference to, even if you don't know it. They're mad because they want to protect cute things. How is that bad to protect cute things? Because all they know is how to destroy and pervert. They see that which is cute, that which is charming, that which is beautiful, and they have to tear it down and destroy it because at their heart, they are ungodly, evil, and ugly people at their core, and the only way they think they can survive is by making everything else ugly, which is why it's our job to make sure that beauty flourishes in the world. Beautiful aesthetics, beautiful things, ideas that are fundamentally beautiful. It's up to us to make sure that that flourishes and gets advanced into the world, fulfilling the mandate as put by Dostoevsky of beauty will save the world. And he was right. Beauty will save the world because people like beautiful things, people like beautiful people like beautiful ideas. We gravitate to that which is beautiful and regard it as good. And much like what Homath has talked about, that which is ugly is oftentimes evil. Apparently so am I, but I think that's because I want the government to go extinct. Yeah, nobody's a fan of the government here. I don't think that test is accurate. What? That ugly is evil? That beautiful is good? I mean, sometimes that which is beautiful sometimes turns out to be evil. That which may not be aesthetically pleasing can turn out to be good. It's true. Looks can sometimes be deceiving, but more often than not, maybe it's not so much beauty, but truth that ultimately prevails. And the truth is actually a rather beautiful thing. Oh, the political alignment test. Not wrong, outdated. What is called the left no longer fits what is now considered the left. Yeah, I think it is fairly outdated because so much of this is just so topsy-turvy, so jumbled up that, yeah, the whole left-right political spectrum, it doesn't work anymore.
her look more like a child in order to not cater to pedophiles. Am I following that correctly?
Also, the face on the left is like a child 6 to 7 years old, and the one on the right is like a 3-year-old. Diana's a robot kid. She's not a robot toddler. Also, again, she looks like a kid. Am I going insane? Like, that looks just like a little kid. Do they just want her to look ugly? Is that what this is? They want her to be ugly?
Yes.
Like, I need more brain damage. Hold on.
Yeah, they're ugly people that need everything else to be as ugly as they are.
Weeb incel gamers LARPing saying, ooh, I want to be a death.
Again, throwing out the words, throwing out magic words, hoping they can do some spell casting.
Now, because they're
Because they have no
manipulative,
argument.
creepy freaks and like the ooh little girl with the model face, especially the lolicons, obviously. The devs know the male gamers hate a realistic or ugly child because that's not what they're playing for. If they made her look like a realistic, ugly child, none of them would be saying this.
First of all, why are they acting like it's realistic to portray children as ugly and disgusting?
Yeah.
Children are not ugly and disgusting. Like, they're cute and adorable. That's what they're known for.
Yeah, they're cute, they're adorable. Yeah, sure, they throw up sometimes and, you know, they're not properly potty trained, then they poop and pee everywhere. But that's the pedant's job to do the potty training, I guess. I don't know. It's like, again, we are dealing with a mass formation psychosis element of people who have just come to hate and despise that which is good and true and lovely. That's what we're dealing with. This is what I so often refer to as just the denizens of the ungodly,
Or like
because that which is godly is that which is good and true and lovely. That which is of a good report, think on these things, as the scripture says. Whereas the opposite of that which is ugly and perverted and defiled, is of the ungodly and of the devil. We've been taught to hate ourselves and take medication for it. Yes, the good news is that you can learn to love yourself, to love that which is good and true and lovely and of a good report once again, and it doesn't even require medication. And if anything, it'll help you get off medication, which is really just poison for your body.
yes, she's made to look cute. Yes, that's how you know this
And
game was
that's
not
okay.
made by Western video game developers. That's how you know there was no Liliths on the dev team here.
Yeah, no one named Lilith on the dev team. It's all Takashi and Hiroshi and Yoshi and people with distinctly Japanese and a lot of Japanese male names working on this project. And they know what gamers want to see. They want to see things that are aesthetically pleasing. And, oh yeah, by the way, it would be nice if they actually could have a video game to play that is fun and action-packed. Something that is enjoyable. What a concept. It helped me got off all mine at 16. Well done. That is as it should be.
You guys would lose your shit while playing Bioshock. Actually, Bioshock is a really good example of this design working right. The little sisters are all gross and have gray-green skin.
What did we
No.
just fucking say, Chad? What did we just fucking say? These are ugly people who celebrate that which is ugly and disgusting. Well, welcome in, Rosso. Good to see you. Just realized that was 20 years ago. Yeah, Bioshock, old franchise. And the original one, yeah, it's an old game. I think I have those in my Steam library somewhere. Probably play them.
Of this design working right. The little sisters are all gross and have gray-green skin.
No, you don't
No.
understand. Everything around me must be ugly as or I will furiously start masturbating. This all sounds like 2014.
It's funny, but it's also really true. It's like these people, they prattle on about incels, but they themselves are the biggest incels. Leftists are the real incels, I guess. And they are just so overstimulated and arse blasted with propaganda that the minute they see anything remotely attractive, they just schizophrenically vacillate between wanting to tear it down, pervert it, and destroy it, and also masturbate to it at the same time. They want to goon to it. I adore this woman. She's such a wayward word. She really does. These people don't enjoy games, though. They consider kids a hindrance and a handicap. Yeah, they do. And it's a pathetic attitude, because children are anything but. They are a blessing. Why do we keep saying, we want to talk about gamers. Let's take two of the biggest gamers and two of the biggest content creators in all of the internet that people still regard with reverence and look at as legends. JonTron and PewDiePie. Everyone was watching them at some point. Not me, though. I think they were a bit after my time. But what happened with JonTron and with PewDiePie? What happened to them? Eventually they got married and they started having kids and building their families. They don't really put out a whole lot of content anymore, if anything at all. But occasionally they'll check in, just to let everyone know how they're doing. And what does everyone keep fucking saying about them every single time? Bro is winning at life. Yes, PewDiePie won. JonTron won. They won at life. Why? Because they're living the dream for so many people. They found the love of their life who loves them back. They got married. And now they have, in their lives, true prosperity. These are men who did really well for themselves in the content creator game. They made a lot of money, and then they gave it all up and walked away because they realized there's something even bigger in life. And when they walked away from it, they discovered the greatest form of wealth and prosperity in all of human history. Family, children, sort of thing that money cannot buy. People like JonTron and PewDiePie are some of the richest men on the planet, but you never know it by looking at their net worth, because that's the wrong thing to look at. Reality has been shaped to reinforce this idea: high cost, no time, inconvenient. It's all a lie. Children aren't as expensive as you think. As far as no time, make the time. Inconvenient? That's a lie. If you truly care, you will make the time. And what time you make for your family and for your children, you will make it count. It's just that simple. Suddenly buffering. You might hit refresh. Try hitting refresh. Might have had a hiccup in the connection there. Maybe. Let me refresh on my end. No, we're looking all right. Looks like it might have had a little bit of a hiccup there.
14 discourse, because it is 2014 discourse. Please don't let there be Gamergate 2.0. Who's going to be the shoe on head 2.0 to emerge from the Gamergate 2.0? If she's listening now, this might sound very vague, but don't. That thing, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Discourse, masturbating. Don't understand. Everything around me must be ugly as or I will furiously start masturbating. This all sounds like 2014 discourse, because it is 2014 discourse. Please
these people, leftists want to talk about how they're so progressive, and yet these are the people that are stuck in the past. Oh, Asian lives matter! Thank you for following over on Kick.
Let there be Gamergate 2.0. Who's going to be the shoe on head 2.0 to emerge from the Gamergate 2.0? If she's listening now, this might sound very vague, but don't. That thing, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Phew. Thanks for talking to me all the time.
Not only because she doesn't need the competition, but also, there's some days you wake up and it's like, damn, is it worth it? Maybe not. Great name, by the way, I know, right?
Ta-da!
Problem is, these people push against a reality that will never bend fully to them, even if they win on a societal level. Yes, they try to control, they're so obsessed with control, and yet reality always wins. Glad that Canada supports families that raise children by the Canada Child Benefit. More countries need to be doing more to support the creation and formation of families, trying to make it as difficult as possible so we stop reproducing. Yes, it's all been about mate suppression, because so many of the people in elite circles that control the governments around the world have bought into the lie that somehow the world is overpopulated, when nothing could be further from the truth. All these people read all these bullshit books like The Population Bomb, and they believed it, and they fell for it. And it turns out all the science behind it is non-existent, or it's bullshit. The world is not overpopulated. We've got plenty of space. We've got plenty of resources. There's plenty here to where we can have more people. But we also need to explore the universe, conquer the cosmos. But to do that, we need to make more babies. It's Leaflet, she's shoe on head from Gamergate 2. You may very well be right, Snacklefox. Is that Tactical Templar on the drawing? Maybe it's Templar in his astronaut or cosmonaut arc? Who knows? Could it be argued that even nature hates ugly, so they're going against nature with ugly acceptance? Yes, I think so. I think it's a really good point, Phalanx. Because you look around at nature and there's so much beauty that is naturally occurring. So yes, they're trying to not only fight reality, they're trying to fight nature. And nature and reality have this nasty little habit of winning with near universal consistency. I heard someone say China's maybe 500 million, nowhere near 1 billion. Yeah, we've reacted to videos like that in the past. We've reacted to videos like that in the past. That China's grossly overinflating their population numbers. And a lot of it is just so that regional and local governments can get more money from Beijing. That's the big reason why. It's just lies because politicians and government bureaucrats, they want more money. It's replacement rates. If they can cause replacement rates to dip, they can try and convince you the government is necessary to support the elderly. That's one thing, yeah. And they also use it as an excuse to do replacement migration, which is really just a euphemism for white genocide. So much of this is just trying to get rid of the white population, which we're already a minority in the world as it is. When you compare our numbers to the rest of the black and brown hordes out there, but they hate us and they want us dead because we won't vote the way that they like, and we won't go along with their grand delusional schemes and their grand designs. So they're just, all right, we'll just flood your countries with black and brown people, and we'll just replace you. We'll replace you that way. We'll give them all free rein to roam the streets in roving gangs and lone wolves, and we'll make it legal for them to kill you and make it illegal for you to defend yourself, because we want a subservient underclass. And we're also worried that, things will spill over and get out of control in India and Africa and the Middle East. So we'll do replacement migration as a pressure release valve on that end too. Replacement migration sounds a lot like that replacement theory that doesn't exist. Yeah, it's just white genocide. That's all it is. You have to destroy cultural separation if you want to bring about a one-world government. Yeah, and there's still plenty of people in power that's exactly what they want, is a one-world government, no borders, no separate languages, cultures, or taste, or anything like that. They are trying to create a modern-day Tower bubble, and it's not going to work. It usually just collapses in on itself. My theory is, on some level, that's exactly what happened with the original Tower bubble, but it's also the hand of God. God does not like the idea of one-world government. God does not want us to have no separate languages, cultures, or tastes. God is one who likes variety. It's what makes us better as people. The differences, the true diversity, is what makes us different and better as his creation. And so the confusion of the languages and the eventual collapse of the Tower bubble was his way of making sure that we stay on course. Saw this earlier: give a white a hammer, civilization built. Asian will make more hammers. Blacks will use it to destroy. And a Jew will give it to the black. Yeah, a lot of truth in that. But it's not just Jews that'll give it to... Certain Jews will give it to negative elements in society. You actually have some Jews that will take a hammer and they will help build civilization themselves. You have some blacks that will join in. You have a lot of people that you give them a hammer, regardless of where they come from or who they are, that will help build civilization, and will even make more hammers to build civilization. But there's always going to be at least a few, the ungodly few, that will use it to destroy. It's close. Generalized stuff can never be exact. True. Hard to be precise with generalizations, but perhaps that's just the limitations of the human brain thinking.
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it. It's for you.
Look at that. You wrote your name, too. Not half bad, kiddo.
Yeah, that sort of thing gets framed and put up on the refrigerator or on the wall in Daddy's office. I've even known some of these people too. You have men who are absolute titans of industry. Some of the wealthiest people, they can afford absolute masterpieces, works of art, and they'll put them up on their wall. They might look at them from time to time, admire them. The thing that they'll keep coming back to the most and admiring and keeping within visual range, the drawings that the children made for them. Things like this. Yeah, you might have a Monet or a Renoir or Degas that you put up on a wall someplace, kind of as a focal point of conversation, but this stays on the desk. This stays somewhere where they will look at it every day. Same can't be said for those expensive masterpieces, or even so-called masterpieces, that they spend obscene sums of money on. This one cost them nothing. This was freely given to them. But this is one of the most priceless treasures in their collection. That last post said they haven't seen women fawn over Diana. Do they even look? They probably did in their line, or maybe they genuinely didn't.
You wrote your name, too. Not half bad, kiddo.
This robot girl makes me uncomfortable, and the fact that I haven't seen female gamers fawn over her is interesting.
Then they haven't been paying attention, because a lot of female gamers out there, many in the VTubing community, they play Pragmata, and they see Diana, and instant response, oh my god, my ovaries! If I had a kid, we would draw together. They each do a line, wife does a line, I do one until it's completed. Yeah, almost like you're drawing, the drawing equivalent of a jigsaw puzzle. Putting it together, team effort, and it will become one of the most priceless treasures in your collection. Caught that too, Diana didn't look or chose to ignore, yeah.
I've seen more clips of her and that man, and that is not how kids behave. Something weird is going on here.
The only thing weird here is you.
Something weird going on here is you, man.
Yes.
You are the something weird.
Yes.
Men like
You're the
father
weirdo.
simulator game where you have to protect a small child and shoot up a bunch of robots in space. Suspicious. Also, I have seen plenty of female gamers fawn over this character.
Me. Yeah. Okay. Everything's about here.
Who would win? Decades of anti-natalist propaganda? One little bean. There were even women cosplaying as her. And when women even expressed how cute they thought Diana was, they're also met with this.
Oh my god, Diana is so precious and adorable. I'm gonna love this game. Thanks for telling everyone why you want to play the game, before you make up some other excuse to hide your pedophilia.
What?
Water guns are the best. I like it just as much as
Yeah.
crayons. I like how the sand feels on my toes. I press down and sink in. Children don't act like this.
Yes, they do. You are saying this because you have not had exposure to children. This is spoken like this is childless energy right here. This is someone who does not have children of their own and probably doesn't even have any nieces and nephews. How sad for this person. On the one hand, they're a blithering idiot, but on the other hand, you can't help but pity them, at least somewhat. Or the kids are terrors. Yeah, but that just sounds like a skill issue on their part. This person has graduated from maidenless to childless. Yes. Again, it's sad, it's pathetic, it's stupid, but it's also pitiable. These people love reporting on themselves through projection. They really do.
This is how someone who fetishizes fatherhood wants children to behave. To normal people, it's actually deeply off-putting.
No,
The
it's
best
not.
part was all the actual parents, like, replying to these people like, yeah, no, that is literally how my 5-year-old acts. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, that's pretty accurate.
No,
Fetishizing
this is what a normal 5 or 6-year-old child would be talking about, their favorite toys that they love to play with, and they love how the sand on the beach kind of gets squishy between their toes whenever they go running along the beach. This tracks. How do they know this isn't right? That's the neat part, Phalanx. They don't. They're just pulling this out of their arse. They're talking out of their arse, and they're getting ratioed and bodied in the comments.
You mean the human desire to procreate and start a family? Oh, you want to meet a woman and settle down and have a family? Maybe have a house, 2 dogs? You sick f***.
We've reached radioactive levels of incel
Well, I guess I'm a sick fuck then, because that's what I want out of life.
propaganda.
What the f does it?
We've reached radioactive
This PFP. I'm not really a betting man, chat, but I'd be willing to bet this is getting pretty bang on with what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a man who has balded well before his time and has got a lot of low and got the neck beard. We're looking at some low T energy here. We're looking at a real togaff here. We are looking at a real togaff here. A low T togaff, especially if he's talking like a male feminist talking about radioactive levels of incel propaganda. No, mate. Only incel hears you. Only incel hears you. Way to cuck for the blue-haired feminists who still aren't going to let you fuck them. Congratulations, you played yourself. Hope it was worth it.
levels of incel propaganda.
What the f does incel mean anymore? I feel like I asked
Nothing.
this in every single video. This tweet
Nothing.
got thousands of likes. I feel like I am going insane. Where does the incel part come from? Like, they want men to be...
Well, something to keep in mind. It might be bot likes, and it might be bot retweets. I'm told that there's certain bots that still exist on X these days. That the minute they pick up on they're programmed to search for certain keywords, and so they probably picked up the keyword of incel or something else, and they just know to just instantly like it, retweet it. So we could be dealing with the sort of fake and gay situation, a bit of astroturfing here, because these people have very shitty ideas, and they know they have very shitty ideas, and no argument whatsoever. So they have to employ the use of bots to spread their shitty ideas. I'm not a sick fuck then, I don't want dogs. I guess there's always cats, or maybe gerbils, but a goldfish. Maybe you're one of those weird bird people, but, hey, to each his own.
open about their emotions, and then men are open about their emotions, and then they're just called Nazis or incels or both. Usually both. It's usually a package deal. And this tweet came from a man to make things worse.
No. Not a man. We have to... At best, we can put the air quotes. We have to use that advisedly. He does not... I don't believe whoever that is has enough testosterone to be considered legally a man. That's not a man we're dealing with there. That's a cuckold.
Grown-ass man saw another grown-ass man speaking about the normal human desire to want a family and want children one day, and called him an incel. Cockroach behavior.
In any case, what is
Yeah.
this? Capcom's
Oh,
Pragmata.
talk of cockroaches.
Wait, did it come out already? Pragmata, it's making thousands of people suddenly want to start a family. You play as Hugh, a soldier, stranded on a ruined lunar research station. His job is protecting the childlike android Diana while fighting rogue AI. In one emotional moment, she gives him a crayon drawing of the two of them together as a little family. Even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears. So what's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like, if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy, right? If you're a
Well, this is things that they cared about and that they enjoy. So, yeah, I'm sorry, where's the argument? Do you even have one, sir? You probably don't. How did he get that demographic from that tweet? I don't think he got that demographic from that tweet per se. I think he just kind of pulled it out of his arse, which Hassan Piker, fairly prone to doing that quite often.
lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman, why do you care? Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're going to experience ever.
Derek B52, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you? Want to tell my girlfriend how unfuckable I am? Apparently she didn't get the notice. Yeah, that's funny how they like to paint with these broad brushes and then reality just has that tendency to break them. We're talking about the how dare you want kids gamer Hassan rant. Yeah, we got the two shoe on head videos. We're doing some reacts. We do a bit of react. Friendly reminder: Hassan has no kids. Yeah, Hassan has all the money in the world, and I'm convinced he's just going to die alone. His girlfriend can't even convince him to have children. No, he just wants to keep spending it on expensive Gucci sunglasses and overpriced t-shirts and shock collars so he can keep abusing his dog.
For your life, for the rest of your life, right? This is something that I never understand.
Wow, maybe there's a reason people are yearning to start a family and can't afford to have one and can't seem to find a partner. They feel alienated from their work and atomized from their community. If only there was a political commentator around to speak about all this.
Yeah, if only. If only.
Oh well, guess not.
First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded and also very weird coming from a guy who understandably
I'm sorry,
libertarian coded. First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded and also
Yeah, that's also very low T cock energy. The whole losertarian type approach to things. Which is like, yeah, to a certain extent a lot of people are just live and let live, but let's be real. We don't live in that sort of world anymore. And we are surrounded by people that they are not going to live and let live. They're not going to leave you alone. That sort of mentality only works in a high-trust society, in a culturally, ethnically, racially homogenous nation or society. It doesn't work in a multicultural society. Never has. And quite often, libertarianism just, when it's not been a vote splitter and even more pathetic controlled opposition in a political system, it's just cover for certain ungodly individuals to just have political justification to be shitty people. That's what it always devolves into, and that's what it always has devolved into. Remember Hassan used to have an online show called Pro Tips, which was by his own standards nothing but misogyny and talking about drowning in pussy. Yes, but see, it's fine when he does it because he supports the current thing. He can prattle on about communism and socialism whilst having a wardrobe that, costs more than what some people make in a year. He can do that because he supports the current thing. And also, he thinks that after the revolution, he's not one of the first people who will be lined up and shot. He thinks he's so clever that, he'll be able to get away with all of that, when really he's just a useful idiot. And the practical reality is people like him, after the revolution, they're the first people to be lined up facing the wall and shot. Don't know his personal life or anything. I suspect he lives politics and online stuff 24/7 to the point anyone he's with just doesn't stick around long enough to have kids. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Derek. I would be willing to wager that this is someone who accuses a lot of people on the right of being grifters, but it's really a form of projection. If anyone's the grifter, it's a sandpiper. I really don't think he believes any of this. If he did, he'd be living a much humbler life. He would not be a champagne socialist. I think he says a lot of this because it gets eyeballs on him. It gets him views, and it also pays for a rather expensive lifestyle that he has for himself because he has a penchant for the finer things in life. HMS Ashbridge, welcome in. Good to see you. Only if it affects you as a statement to invalidate your opinion. Too often, yes, that's exactly what it is. The question of how does this affect you is oftentimes just a pretense to try and invalidate your opinion, to which the only thing you need to respond to that is fuck off. That's the only response you need to someone who asks in that obnoxious, pretentious way, how does this affect you? How does it affect you? Fuck off. That's how it affects me. Just fuck off. Only left-leaning libertarians, they only say not to care about something if it doesn't affect you because they don't want for you to pay attention to the abhorrent things they're doing. I don't know, man. I've seen plenty right-leaning libertarians that behave the same way, and sometimes they're even worse. Though they oftentimes do it with just an open lack of pretense, so I guess that's something to their credit. Choice and style that screams Middle Eastern millennial metrosexual. Possibly even homosexual, we don't know.
Very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean. Second of all, what is this nihilistic horseshit?
Yeah, I really could not give two shits about that. They're all a bunch. It's not my sandbox, not my problem. They're all a bunch of fucking animals anyway, so let them destroy themselves.
Yeah, never aspire for anything. Never aim for greatness and meaning. This is the dude the media wants us to believe is going to save young men from the alt-right pipeline.
What is a metrosexual? Third time I've heard that. Old term from the 2000s. And it was, at least very briefly, a fashion trend. Basically, it was heterosexual men, looking a bit foppish and, sort of in touch with the absolute latest fashions and going rather high maintenance with themselves of, how should I put this, everything from skincare routine to getting their hair done to... It's basically a lot of homosexual man-coded behavior. It's homosexual man software coded into heterosexual man hardware. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, straight men with a gay fashion sense. Pretty much.
Fine. Yeah, okay. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable
Oh yeah, we got a
could
sex
easily
haver
go to-
over here, lads. Got ourselves a sex haver. Can't have that. Look at this. Look at this bloke over here. He's having sex. Look at him with all of his sex having here. What a lark. What a laugh. Everyone point and laugh at the man who's getting some.
foreign brothels and pay for sex like you.
Piker said, quote, I've gone to a brothel, Artemis, in Berlin, had sex with workers there. I don't hide it. I don't give a shit. Why would I? Because that brothel apparently had underage girls working there. So the implication is it is possible that you have had sex with underage girls, therefore making you an actual fucking pedophile.
Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hassan. Something weird about a man who could easily consensually get sex from a woman but chooses to go to a brothel. I don't know. Just saying. Also,
yeah, it's funny how that works. It's like maybe if you stop being such an insufferable asshole, and maybe you would find yourself being able to get some. It's impressive having to pay for it. Yeah, really flexing, having to go out and pay, and go pay for that pussy.
35? No kid? Like, I'm sorry, that just pisses me off. Like, sitting in his ugly ass $600 Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how someone could be so mad.
But you don't understand, bro. You don't understand, bro. That I need to keep people dependent on me, bro. I need to keep people dependent on me, and if, they start doing better in life, and they start realizing that they have agency, and that they don't have to submit to learned helplessness, that they might, start making a better life for themselves, getting in shape, and, find themselves better employment, and saving their money, and, building their retirement, and getting married, and having kids, and, living the dream and all. And that would mean people stop watching me, bro. That means they stop watching me, bro. And that means my CCV numbers go down. And then I can't afford those Gucci sweaters anymore, bro. And then I can't afford those overpriced designer sunglasses, bro. I need to keep them dependent on me, bro. But the other sad side is that he paid for it. What's more capitalist than paying for the service you couldn't otherwise acquire? I love the little dig there at the end. Very, very clever, GFS. Those men that trim and pluck their eyebrows, have their beard shaved very precisely, have their hair carefully styled, hangs out in the city, and wears skinny pants and other overpriced brand clothing, very concerned about their style, appearing peacockish, so to speak. Yeah. He is your stereotypical Los Angeles-based peacocker. And it's possible that he's just gay. And it's like, bro, you want to be gay, be gay. You would not be the first Mohammedan to come out of the closet like that. I mean, sure, your whole family would probably disown you, and they'd probably mark you for death and all, but you'd be cringe but free, I guess. I don't know. Inner city twat is what he is. Yes, very much an avatar for the urban monoculture.
Mentally mind raped. That this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept. Like, literally, no joke, the entire meaning of life is somehow confusing to Hassan Piker. Anti-natalist. If I saw a child that looked like that, I'd probably attack it.
That's really anti-natalist behavior. Also, trans flag detected in profile, which probably attack it. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. Because the trannies have got themselves a violence and a shooting problem. They just get them anywhere near guns, and all of a sudden they just feel compelled to go on a mass shooting, particularly of innocent young children. Funny what happens when you pump yourself so full of the wrong type of artificial hormones that it turns you into a murderous psychopath. Funny how that works. A lot of them have this weird sway to their hips and hold hands with other men while trying to puff up their chest and act tough and questioned. Yeah, they're overcompensating. It's like, brother man, you want to be gay? Be gay. Just lean into it. It's like you're not fooling anyone at this point.
I felt like hitting her. The right-wing nutjob seeing a child that looked like that, I'd probably attack it. I felt like
Translated from Portuguese. I think it's somewhere that might actually track. I don't know. Depends on whether or not this is Brazilian Portuguese or Portugal Portuguese that we're translating from.
hitting her. The right-wing nutjob
Sort of like that Italian in the Simpsons. Shut up your mouth!
seeing this and feeling paternal instincts are just predators. The only instinct I feel as a man right now is self-defense. I want to kill it.
If that's the instinct you feel as a man, that you're not a man. You're not a man, you're just a fucking psychopath. Again, they always out themselves. It's like, no, bro, this is... That's... You might have some really seriously unresolved issues with PTSD or something. Either that or you really are just an absolute fucking psychopath. If that's your first instinct is, I want to kill this small creature that appears to be a child, even though it's an android. I mean, maybe it's a reaction to a sort of uncanny valley effect or something. I don't know. But this is not normal. This is really not normal. Yeah, that's an animal, not a man. Yeah, that's animal instinct. That's not man instinct. If you truly think about it, female hormones make you emotional. Male hormones make you decisive. Mixing them creates a very dangerous scenario where you're easily affected by your emotions and have the determination to take action to resolve it. Yeah, trouble is the determination to take action for a lot of trannies that have that dangerous toxic soup in their coursing through their veins the determination to take action is always seems to be the determination to take the wrong actions. I also, in that moment, thought of at least one or two VTubers in the space that I could name whenever I associate that sort of thing, but it's like, we're not going to go there. They reveal their own nature to all. Yes, they do. The ungodly eventually do reveal themselves, and they eventually destroy themselves too. More easily influenced by their emotional state. Yes, quite so.
Yes, the ones saying they want to protect a kid are the predators, not the ones saying they want to kill it. The only thing I felt while watching this is pure bloodlust for that annoying creature. I hate children so much. Before you come at me, yes, I'm a 35-year-old crazy cat lady and proud of it. Stay mad.
We're not mad. We're not mad at you. I know you would love for us to be mad at you, but we have seen this picture so many times before. I think so many of us, we just look at you with pity. We just pity you because we see what could have been, how you could have been so much more in life, and yet this is what's in front of us. This is the reality that is in front of us of what you really are. The pity comes from seeing what you are and what you could have been. And that's the real tragedy here. But, I mean, props for being honest and owning the fact that you are a 35-year-old crazy cat lady, probably lonely as fuck, which is why you're screaming into the void like this about your pure bloodlust for Diana and for any child. I mean, it must be absolutely maddening knowing that you will never have this, that all the eggs have dried up, and that you will never have a husband, a happy family, progeny of your own to pass on your genes and wisdom, though we use that term advisedly, to the next generation. I mean, yeah, that absolutely must be maddening. That you will never have that. You will never experience that joy of marriage and family. You will never know that sort of love, the pitter-patter of little feet in a house somewhere, of children calling out, "Mummy, mummy, come here, look what I can do." That must drive you mad. That must slowly but surely be driving you mad with each and every passing day and each and every passing year. It's not anger that we feel for you. It really isn't. It's just pity at this point. It's just pity. You are truly a pitiable creature, but ultimately you are getting what you fucking deserve. Yes, bold of you to assume we care about your opinion, yeah. Stay in your home, disconnect the internet. Shit, this is someone who really does need to just delete their account, go outside and touch grass. Because at this point, that's their only hope for sanity. Wish we could go back to when the most shocking thing a young man could ever think to do was take his father's car for a ride. Father's done that. Mother's father's done that, yeah. Take the family car and go joyriding or something. In my parents' day, this is how wild and crazy they were. They would take their cars and head out to the main street in town and not do anything like drag racing or, you know, initial D style downhill drifting. Their idea of a wild time was to go onto the main street late at night and see how slow they could creep their cars along in one of the slowest races of all time. The only reason the cops would break something like that up is just because they are going at dangerously slow speeds, dangerously below the speed limit, and creating a traffic hazard and blocking traffic. That was their idea of a wild time. It's like, yeah, let's get our cars and get them all on the main drag in town and see how slow we can creep them along. And the first person to slowly cross over the finish line is the winner, I guess. I don't know. He did end up crashing it in the ditch. They lived out in the rural countryside, lucky enough to come out unscathed. Yeah, there's a lot of things that our parents and our grandparents did. It's like, and even us as children, we did, and we should have, it was like that one time we should have died, but we didn't. Which just goes to show you, God protects fools and children. Dana Days, thank you for the 3-stream watch streak. Welcome in, good to see you. That's still something some people in local towns here do. Yeah, it's the most rebellious, wholesome fun I think you can have with a car. Clown Thriller, welcome in, good to see you. The loser means you didn't move slow enough. Last one to cross the line without stopping the car wins, yeah. Yeah, you just sort of put it in drive or neutral and just depress the brake and don't hit the brake.
First of all, every time you see a little smiley face like that, that's how you know that person is madder than they've ever been in their entire life. Listen,
Yes, it's also how you know they're an absolute cunt.
obviously, if you simply don't want kids, that's fine. Like, whatever. Not everyone wants kids. Not everyone wants to be a parent. But the societal
fair.
attitude, the difference between men and women here, how they handle this situation is so, like, fascinating to me.
I'm probably never having kids. I'm probably going to play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to be as hot for as long as I can. And
Yeah, that's not much longer. That's not much longer, girl. You don't have much time. You're about to fall off. You are hitting the wall, and it's going to happen sooner than you think, dear, because you don't exactly have the genes or the look to keep that up for much longer. You are going to hit the wall sooner than you think, and no amount of plastic surgery is going to save you. You can go for that Mar-a-Lago look all you like, and get those Chad cheekbones. Like what's her name? Who's the it's not Lauren Southern. Who's the one who's really obnoxious and insufferable and had the nose job to, I think, hide a Jewish nose? Forget her name. Anyways, for real, they don't understand how fast their looks fade. Yeah. The issue is that there are a lot of reasons not to have kids, but if you brag about not wanting kids, it shows you to be selfish and prone to self-gratification. Yeah. Yeah, no, ultimately, it really is just a selfish thing. The ones that are not selfish about it were just the ones that are just like kind of nonchalantly is just, yeah, we kind of wanted to have kids, but it just, I don't know. It never really worked out that way. It's like those people I can respect. It's like, okay, life threw a twist at you and just didn't work out. Sorry, mate. Angelina Jolie. No, this is someone who is in right-wing circles, is an obvious right-wing grifter. Shit, I forget her name. But she recently had like a fuck ton of work done on her face, and I guess had these chin injections and implants that it just really, it made her look like she had the Chad meme chin. And it's like you look at her and I'm just like, that's all plastic in your face, girl. But no, it wasn't Pearl Davis. It wasn't Pearl Davis. I forget. Anyways, if I can't have kids, I would at least try to adopt. Yes, my own father was adopted at birth, so it's like we know a thing or two about the importance of adoption, and yeah, it's important to give a child a chance like that. It's why I will never be pro-choice. I will never be pro-abortion, and I'm adamantly anti-abortion because had abortion been an option in my father's time, of course, he's a much older man. He was born at a time when abortion was not legal. But had it been legal, he might not be here, and by extension, I might not be here. So I can never be pro-abortion without being a massive hypocrite about it. Snyder, thank you for redeeming Not First. Also, hello.
And I'm probably going to keep making money. That's probably what's going to happen for
For
the
now.
next 40 years until people are just going to keep being mad at me about it.
No, it's not going to last 40 years, dear. It's not going to last 40 years. That gravy train is going to come to an end sooner than you think.
Menopause is going to hit me like a brick wall, but at least I will be getting the bag until then. You don't want kids? I'll do it whenever I want. I don't think I'm running out of time.
Absolute delusion. I feel
Yes.
like a lot of men in this situation are like, damn, I wish I had a family. That sucks. Women overcompensate and they pretend to be proud of it, and it just comes off as really kind of sad. And I guess it's like, as a woman for a long time, it's like,
Sad, and they also just come off as being giant cunts about it.
oh, you're too young.
For a period, they had a system where unwanted babies or children could be given up at buildings across Denmark so they would not be aborted and end up in wells or dumpsters. Yes, there's similar setup here in America. The whole safe place laws and regulations. I forget what they called them. It was like, I think it was like the Baby Moses law or something like that. It was an issue for a long time where young single mothers give birth to a child and then just cruelly toss it away somewhere, and police or firefighters would find a dead child in a dumpster somewhere, or in some back alley, or barely alive, and they came up with this sort of system where if you see this yellow placard that says "safe place," women who are like single mothers, or they can't take care of their children. It's usually at a firehouse, though. In America, the petrol station chain known as Quick Trip, a QT, also has staff trained for this sort of thing, where a mother can take their newborn child there, hand them off, walk away, because it used to be completely and totally illegal, and a lot of these mothers would get arrested for that sort of thing. And the belief being is like, well, if we just set it up to where they can hand off the child and just walk away, then we can save the lives of these children. And apparently it has worked.
Don't have kids, it will ruin your life and your body and your career, don't have children, and then all of a sudden you hit a certain age and it's like, your eggs, ma'am. I get it, it's frustrating, I get it. I hid my pregnancy from the internet. Nobody knew I was pregnant. Well, some of you guessed.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hide in some ways. But yeah, no, Shoe on Head has had at least one child. She is happily married with children. Probably why she is just turned out so fucking normal and has really normal woman opinions about a lot of things, even though she is a woman on the internet. Probably the wisest choice she could have ever made was try to hide the fact that she was pregnant for as long as possible, because Lord knows she's got plenty of haters who would just absolutely have it in, not just for her, but for her then unborn child. This is a woman who, she gets plenty of threats on the internet, and probably still gets threats to this day, and probably threats against her husband, and her children.
Because I was fat as fuck. But anyway, I hid it from the internet, and while I was like 5 months pregnant, I was getting tweets from like groypers and like, TikTok, your eggs are drying up. But this like,
joke's on them. She's had at least one child, so she's making Shinzo Abe proud. What the fuck are you doing with your life?
You haters, I got my cats. Enough. Stop spreading that attitude. Stop being a crab in a bucket. Like, even if you don't have children, that's fine. You can find other meaning in your life, obviously. But don't encourage that type of mindset. The amount of anti-natalist propaganda young men and young women see nowadays is like insane. But the biggest anti-natalist propaganda has to be like $3,000 rent, $2,000 daycare, and student debt, honestly.
It's
if we're
insanity.
being honest. It's just sad because like
it's a problem.
through all of history.
Look, we're not minimizing these problems. They are there. They are an issue. Don't use that as the excuse to not have children or to not have families. There's plenty of people out there who have been through far worse, even when times were good compared to what they are now. I still managed to make it work. You don't really need as much as you think to raise a child. You really don't. They'll be all right. They will be all right. Are you going to fuck some things up? Absolutely you are. Not an excuse to not even try. There's been attacks here in the past on certain hated pregnant women, basically getting them kicked in the stomach. Yeah, no, it's bad out there. The antinatalist propaganda runs really deep with some people.
Like, imagine your ancestors. They've been through like war and famine, and you're just gonna end your bloodline because the rent is too high. But it's understandable. They don't feel like they can support a child. They can barely support themselves. Especially
we get that, but again, there's no excuse to not try. If anything, you take what seem to be supposedly insurmountable odds and do it anyway. Do it anyway. That's the thing. Raiders, welcome in. Spider Bro. Hello. Good to see you. How was your stream? Let me get you some shout-outs. Raiders, if it's your first time here, I'm Lord Rexworth. I'm an English nobleman VTuber. And we're doing a react to a 2-pack of Shoe on Head videos. We keep stopping and going off on tangents for just the first one. We've yet to get to the collab with Smugglana, but we will get to that. Playing Neverness to Everness. how is your experience going with NTE? Have you got your waifus living in the flat with you yet? I wonder. Have you upgraded to the most expensive, totally not Italian supercar, or the totally not Porsche knockoff of a Porsche 911 with the slant nose front and the flip-up headlamps? How's everything going? How is your stream? Going good. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Everyone, make sure you go follow Spider Bro. Did a playthrough recently of Pragmata and is making their way through NTE. Will be joining me next weekend as we try some of the co-op functions on NTE, along with Rosso Vermil and anybody else that we can think of to get in on some co-op play there. Got a raid and run? Totally understand. Yeah, raiders, if you need to raid run, please feel free to do so. Do exercise the usual after stream care. Get up and stretch. Grab something to eat, something to drink, that sort of thing. Well, yeah, relax with us on this Sunday afternoon as we just look at the madness that is the internet and the antinatalist types. But yeah, point I was going to make. But the point I'm going to make here is this. There's a lot of forces in this world that want men in particular to just game in themselves. Don't do that. I've said it before. Live. Go on living, even if only to spite the rest of the world, even if there's only a gigantic fuck you to the world, and especially to the people who hate you and want you dead. Same attitude, I think, should be applied here to marriage and children. There's a lot of antinatalism out there. There's a lot of mate suppression and antinatalist psyops in this world. You should get married and have children anyway, if only to spite those forces and those individuals in this world and those groups. Get married and have children, even if only to make it a gigantic fuck you to the anti-natalists and the mate suppressionists and the psyops. Do that. Get married and make babies, and do it as a fuck you to the people who don't want you to have that. Trust me, you'll find a way. Yes, you will find a way. Just like, as we said earlier, leftists just want to fight all of that and control and just oppress everyone and everything to try and build their utopia and to spread their ideas that can only exist in a vacuum lest they fall apart. They can't fight nature. They can't fight reality. And nature finds a way. Reality finds a way. And in this case, nature is humans getting married and having babies. I see marriage and relationships as a matter of responsibility, and I do not consider myself mature or emotionally capable enough to be able to meet the needs of and take care of someone else. That would be my peer, let alone in addition to myself or even children. I would see it irresponsible of me to get into a relationship. I think you are more mature and emotionally capable than you give yourself credit for, Harold. It is so many of those people that in this world that have that attitude who would actually make ideal husbands, wives, fathers, and mothers. I don't think it would be as irresponsible as you think. If anything, it would probably be the best thing that ever happened to you. So don't sell yourself short. Give yourself some more credit than that.
On one income, like how it used to be. Those days are gone. You know, if I was president and I wanted to make America great again, that would be the thing I focus on the most. But no, we have to do another bullshit war in the Middle East. Okay, whatever, we're not going into that, not in this video.
Lots of strange reactions to this game.
It's like, we need to improve the economy, make housing cheaper, and, make it cheaper to just live our lives and stock food in the cupboard and in the refrigerator, and make it easier for people to get married and have families. And politicians in Washington, even President Trump himself, is just like, yeah, best I can do is another war in the sandbox, because he doesn't have the balls to just jail the judges. Yes, you have more sense for that single statement than you give yourself credit for. You feel that because you haven't tried it. Seems daunting and inconvenient. That fades when you love something or someone. Exactly, Hollister. Exactly. Again, give yourself more credit, Harold. And get up and try again. It's really, if you take no other advice from anyone like me, and of course, we do that with the disclaimer that no one should take advice from a VTuber on much of anything, but I would say if you do nothing else, get up and try again. Or try for the first time, I don't know. But try. Again, do it as a fuck you to these ungodly forces in the world that hate us and want us dead and don't want us to get married and make babies. Do it if only to spite them. And in the process, fall madly in love with a woman who becomes the love of your life and the mother of your children. And also, you know, receive the greatest blessing that this life has to offer, and that is children.
Let's clear some things up. Childless men do not have paternal instincts the way childless women have maternal instincts. Men first experience paternal instincts once they have their own children, and typically, those paternal instincts are only ever felt for their own children and no one else's. Men are not nurturers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna press X to that, because plenty of us, especially those of us men out there, well, I'm not one of them, but those men out there that have had children, and they see other children that are in trouble, and they're oftentimes the first ones to rush to help. And you ask them, why did they do that? And what's the first thing they're going to say? They're going to say, I'm a father too. I've got children too. That could have been one of my children. Hence why they had to step in and help. Thank you for the words. I don't wish to make the jump if my brothers want to or support them in the matter, but I don't think it's for me. Think on it a bit more, Harold. Let's just leave it at that for now.
Don't gush over cute kids in public. Men don't have baby
No,
fever.
we don't gush over cute kids in public. But it's one of those things that we see them and you just smile. It's one of those things that you see a child playing on and you kind of smile, and you just, for a moment at least, your problems and the world's problems just don't really seem all that big in the grand scheme of things.
A man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he's likely a predator.
And that's what all just went so horribly wrong here, this entire tweet. Jesus Christ. Now, I remember this one from... Well, this woman, she's part of Tim Pool's team and his whole podcasting crew, I think. Am I right about that, Chad? Have I got the right person? I don't know. I don't really watch or pay attention to Tim Pool or anything he does anymore. It's just a lot of those big name podcasts just are and have been for a long time irrelevant to me. But no, I don't think it's accurate to say men don't have baby fever. If you desire to have children, especially with a woman who is your wife, that I would say that qualifies as baby fever. If a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he is likely what? I was like, what? Where is this coming from? Of possess a child? What? Huh?
What?
Okay, first of all, even from like anecdotal common sense, this is just not true. This is obviously bullshit.
Yeah,
Research literally shows that childless men...
This is probably bait. This is probably just engagement bait from someone who has learned from some of the masters of engagement and rage baiting out there. We have soldiers, firefighters, and police officers who step up and protect children just because it's in our nature. To claim otherwise is to live in a much darker world. Yes, that's why so many people who are soldiers, so many men who are soldiers and firefighters and policemen, that's one of the big reasons that they answer the call to serve like that. It's in their nature. If it's not in their nature, they've got no business putting on the uniform. Mary has a podcast where they cover pop culture, part of Timcast. Okay, so I was right. It is part of Tim Pool's circle there. Possess is written by a demon seeking out a new body. Possibly. One can never tell in this day and age. Men run into burning buildings, go out onto icy ponds, and go to war to protect children. This chick wouldn't cross the street. No, probably wasn't. Probably wouldn't. She, probably lives in a bubble. This is starting to sound like terminally online posting, in which case, that's enough internet from her for today. Time to go outside and touch some grass. Maybe delete X from a phone for a little while.
And experience like the desire for fatherhood almost just as much as childless women experience the desire for motherhood. Apparently, young men want children more than young women do nowadays.
That's sad. That is really, really sad. But at least men doing or wanting the right thing for themselves seems to just come more naturally than women. And I mean, let's be real, for a lot of women out there, they are just absolutely overgrown children who really need to shut the fuck up and just really need a man to dominate them and tell them what to do.
Many men, including childless men, exhibit caregiving, protective responses to infants, even if they're not their own. All through history, men have protected, mentored, even died for kids that weren't their own. Also, with this logic, like, uncles, stepdads, adoptive fathers, like, anyone like that is a predator. Like, men just have the protector gene, and this game just activates it. It's really...
It's like, at some point, I find it really difficult to... Especially with somebody like that, who is part of the whole Timcast network, it's like, yeah, okay, this is starting to look more like engagement bait than anything. Problem is that Mary seems to be part of the assumption that a child is property to be possessed. That's according to her framing in that post. Maybe she actually should not have children. No. It's funny we mention all of that. And we have reacted to a video about the role of women and children in a more traditional type setting with traditional gender and family roles from Joe Webben, who made the case of, it's like, yeah, you could say that, your wife and your children are your property to an extent, but that's a gross oversimplification. And here's why it's a lot more complicated. And here's, sort of the biblical foundation that we're pulling this from. I'm not gonna rehash all of that. It's there on Lord Rexworth VT over on YouTube, and it's also over on the Rumble page. I would just say go find it and give it a watch. But it's like, hold on, it's a bit deeper and more complicated than that. But if we are just going to keep it simple for the normies out there, it's like, yes, they're not property, but at the same time, they also belong to you. They are yours. They are not necessarily possessions in the way that a lot of people think of them, but your wife and your children are the most precious possessions that you have, or the most precious things or precious people in your life. And they are just something that money cannot buy. You can never put a price on them. Yeah. Anyways, go check it out. Lord Rexworth VT on YouTube, and over there on the Rumble page, from which we're streaming live right now. Funny enough, during my time in Japan, found women much more approachable. When I was there during the height of the Me Too movement here in the States. Yeah, Japan didn't really go in for that sort of thing. They never really went in for that sort of thing. I would say a lot of that did not really affect Southeast Asia. So it wasn't just Japan. I think to an extent it was also Korea, Thailand, Philippines, Singapore, places like that. They didn't go in for that sort of thing, which is refreshing and an absolute relief. Every woman I've grown up with has expressed they don't want kids. When it comes to some of the women of the Asian persuasion, I've gotten a lot more expressing interest. You should lean into that, Derek. If that's what it takes, is you doing the whole passport bro thing and going where you're treated best, as Andrew Henderson says from Nomad Capitalist, and going and finding yourself a lovely Asian woman to get married and have children with, lean into that. I'm not so much of a racial purist that I will say that we need laws banning miscegenation of the races and things like that. Mainly because I think not only white women are generally very attractive, but Asian women, holy shit. Yeah, so if that's what it takes for you to make Shinzo Abe proud, is to just go marry a Japanese woman or a Thai woman or a Filipino girl or something like that, then you should go do that. You have to go where you're treated best. You have to go where you're wanted. And, if you're finding that native stock is just not what it's at for you, then yeah, I guess you're gonna have to do the passport bro thing. It's like if you wanted that badly, you'll find a way. Well, if that's the way, then that's the way. It's like you don't really get to make the rules. You're just trying to work within the system as best you can and adapt to the times as best you can. Don't tell me I play up the yellow fever bit, but I'm not gonna. Nobody would. I mean, those of us that haven't been there and don't really know, it's like, have you seen these girls? Have you seen these girls? It's like you would want to wife them up too. I mean, Lord knows I see on Instagram plenty of cute Japanese girls. It's like I'd get down on one knee for that. I'd make babies with her. We would make Shinzo Abe proud together. And who knows? It's like shoot your shot. You might actually get a yes from them. Culture matters. It really does. And in Southeast Asian cultures and societies, it is all about family. Sometimes to the point of your needs just do not exist whatsoever, or almost to the point of you do not exist whatsoever. And I don't mean didn't want kids for me. I just mean in general they say they don't want kids. Yeah, they say they don't want kids, but it's one of those things where it's like a lot of women are just a bunch of fucking liars. And they never say what they really want to mean, which is why you really should not listen to women most of the time about most things. Just because they can't even be honest with themselves, let alone you. And then you go over to Japan or another Asian country, and they're just like, yeah, I want to get married. Yeah, I want kids. What of it? Doesn't everyone? And they're just like, you look at that, especially after everything we've seen and experienced ourselves, and we just think, oh, you sweet summer child, if you only knew. Actually, no, you will never know. We will keep you pure and innocent, and you will never know the horrors and the degeneracy that has so plagued the West. Yeah, let's keep this one pure. Sort of like when Henya starts asking certain unsay-so questions, or questions about unsay-so things on X, and then Tenma steps in and in all caps is like, chat, do not fucking tell her anything. Do not say one goddamn word. We must keep her pure. It's that sort of feeling. It is that sort of feeling. Indeed, she must remain pure. Yes. I've got a tab for something funny with Henya. It's not going to be all serious politics and cultural issues and mercilessly mocking the left, although that is a lot of fun.
Not deeper than that. Yes, it's true men don't have maternal instincts, but men do have paternal instincts. There's a reason this game is about protecting her from evil robots in space and not breastfeeding her. Yes, women and men are different.
Because Lord knows, had this been made by any other studio other than a Japanese studio like Capcom, we would have seen that. We would have seen a male astronaut doing some sort of simulated or actual breastfeeding of the android child in Pragmata. Had it been any sort of Western developer, that's what they would have shoehorned in there. And that's assuming that they even kept the player character a man. They probably would have been some sort of gender bent thing, almost like the strange perversion of and just grotesque parody of like Ripley from Alien, if that makes any sense. Eamon Bright, thank you for the follow. They'd have given him robot milkers instead of a gun. Yes. It's like, what are we supposed to do? Just lactated the enemy? What's that gonna do? Hello, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. Welcome in. Good to have you.
Like a huge factor in this very popular trope is that the man gradually develops paternal instincts over the child despite his stoic, emotionally distant, masculine nature.
It's what happens. We just see it. There's a real life application with this. Don't know if any of you follow or have watched even clips of Vedal and his own creation, Neurosama, but they've had some of those rather tender, wholesome Chungus moments together where he's He's wondering, you know, is this an AI VTuber that I've created, or is this sort of the surrogate equivalent of a daughter that I've created for myself? There have been some moments where it's clear he's wondering about this. It has put him into quite the quandary. They're called calcium cannons in that one particular scenario. Metal pipe clang evil, probably.
Gamers are experiencing that through the main character. If Capcom's goal with Pragmata was to make everyone who plays this game want to be a parent, then they've done an amazing job. I always sit back when Diana starts playing and think to myself, so this is what it's like to have a daughter? She's so cute.
This is the most normal response that we have seen out of anyone in the Twitter sphere so far in this video. Congratulations, Nick Tech. You have won the award. You have won the internet for having the most emotionally healthy, mentally sound, completely and totally normal response. My congratulations to you, sir. Well done. You did it.
And for the record, yes, that is what having kids is like.
Yes.
It's also not so fun stuff and lots of responsibility, but the good parts...
It's a lot of cleaning up of messes and poopy diapers and all the other stuff. But you ask any parent, they'll tell you they wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's all worth it in the end.
completely outweigh the bad and make it all worth it. There were hundreds of tweets from people, mostly childless people, mind you, being
Yes.
like, that's not what having a child is like, actually, you stupid gamer. It's actually terrible and awful. Men like this view having a daughter like having a pet dog. Once she grows up and isn't a cute little girl anymore, they'll begin to resent her.
Tell me you've never had children without telling me you've never had children.
Men really do want kids the way kids want a puppy. All the fun, but none of the responsibilities.
I mean, a lot of that is a woman's job. I mean, what? Anyway.
I don't like the way you guys talk about children. Like, they aren't toys.
No one's talking about them like they're toys. No one's doing that. You're just making up things. You were literally doing the songs like, why the fuck you lying? Stop fucking lying.
People will lose their f***ing minds when they realize that kids aren't like a dog or cat. They're a goddamn nightmare.
Again, tell me that you have not had children without telling me you have not had children. Or, you know, way to reveal that you hate your own children if you have had children.
Watching a child play with a
Are you all right? Are these people all right? Don't answer that. We already know. They're not all right. Is anyone really surprised by the reactions of these sociopaths? No. No, not really. No.
toy and actually raising a child are two completely separate things. Kids are adorable when they're calm and playful, but little demons when they're screaming, snotting, and destroying your shit and keeping you up at night.
Yes, that's what kids do. They're tiny little human beings that are capable of great good, but also capable of great evil. They're capable of being just, you know, little wholesome chungus tiny humans, and then they can be little shits. That's what kids do. You know, kids are playful and cheerful and brighten up your lives, and then there's other times they're screaming and bouncing off the walls, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, can you please just settle down and take your afternoon nap, for Christ's sake? How often do you think there'll be gremlins? I don't know. My 2-year-old learned the word no and has resorted to whining whenever she doesn't get her way. It's worth it. That is, I think that's describing every 2-year-old. That's how we were when we were 2 years old. We learn the word no and we whine and cry and piss and shit and throw temper tantrums whenever we don't get our way. And you learn very quickly that you're not always going to get your way. Especially, you know, if you've got parents like I had that had zero compunction about putting me across the knee and giving me a fairly thorough spanking. I'm lucky I didn't get the belt sometimes, which really, we've got to bring back corporal punishment for some of these kids, my God. Otherwise, they really will turn into absolute monsters.
Men really think having children is easy and fun. It's not so fun when they're a pissing
No,
and
nobody said that it's easy. It can be fun. It can also be not fun sometimes. That's the whole experience of having children is that you've got good moments and you've got bad moments, and then you've got the in-between moments too.
And crying nonstop. Do you
I mean, if they're pissing and shitting and crying non-stop, it's like, what the hell did they have for dinner? What are you feeding them? It's like, that's almost sounding like a skill issue at that point. Level of separation from normal human existence by them is a reflection of how damaged our culture is at present. Yes, and we are dealing with this is a lot of damaged people that are saying all of this.
have kids? No, and I got my tube side 3 years ago, but thanks for asking.
There's that smiley face again. That is the international insignia for I am a cunt.
Wow, Diana's so cute. Maybe I want kids one day. Did you know they poop and pee and cry? Why this compulsive need?
I guess. And you know what? As you grow into an adult, you're still going to poop and pee and probably cry. And I did about 2 out of 3 earlier this morning. I'll let you guess which ones.
To counter signal this, watching a fictional kid play with toys for a few seconds and thinking that's what it's like raising an actual human being is probably a sign you have zero idea what it really looks like being a parent, and you should not base your decision off a video game character.
The censor bar right here is quite telling. It's like, okay, E-Horse says what now? I love what Neven is putting out these days, making frequent use of the meme of keep your hormones in check, with the actual word of whore, W-H-O-R-E, being used there. I'm guessing right twice.
Wait, this community note. OP is an e-girl with an OnlyFans account.
Community notes coming in clutch with the dub here. Well done.
You stupid gamers don't get it. Doom scrolling TikTok and having multiple failed situationships is true happiness. Children are a burden. Nobody is saying
And also subscribe to my OnlyFans and my Fansly for $20 a month.
parenting is easy. Nobody said that. All the parts parents say are the best parts. All the parts parents say are worth it. That is what people...
And yes, I know what you're thinking, chat. Only $20? Why not 50? Why not 75? Why not the top tier package for $200 a month? And hey, for $5,000, they'll even fly you out and let you fuck them. Which really would make them a prostitute at that point. Someone needs to invent a device, possibly derived from Nikola Tesla's research, that when activated causes all septum rings to explode and might help in correcting the societal degradation. I think we already have that yarn. They're called electromagnets. We could have a lot of fun with those and septum rings. Thank you for the hydrate and stretch redeems. Or the electric chair.
people are seeing and yearning for. They have this like insane compulsion to attack anything that's like remotely pro-family, I guess because it culturally clocks as conservative. So you have to just shun it and mock it, or else you're doing a fascist propaganda or something. This whole thing has just been a litmus test for humanity. On one side, people who long for love and meaning and human connection desire deeper things and they're in touch with their humanity. And on the other side, miserable, insane freaks who want to destroy everything pure and wholesome. And then on the sidelines, normal people who just think this is a fun game. Yeah, that's probably most people.
Oh, that's pretty much it, yeah.
I think we're a little too online sometimes. So we have established that the broveries have been activated by this game, but
it's not prostitution if you film it right, right? Well, that's just pornography at that point.
is the male biological clock real? Unlike women who are born with a specific number of eggs, men create sperm all their life. Right now, as we speak, your balls are creating sperm. Men can
You hear that, chat? Your balls are creating sperm.
technically get someone pregnant all their life. And by someone, I mean a woman, not a femboy. You can't get a femboy pregnant.
Yeah, no. Hard as some of you out there might be trying to, that's not the way biology works. That's just gay sex. That's just gay butt sex. That's not how that works. Found the loophole. Leave my loophole out of it!
stop trying. Sperm quality tends to decline over time. Lower sperm count and more DNA damage to the sperm occurs. These changes usually start after 35 to 40 years old. So as men age, the risk of passing on genetic mutations increases. Similar to maternal age, higher paternal age has been associated with autism, schizophrenia, so basically being a Shoe-on-Head fan, and other rare genetic disorders, as well as the chance of miscarriage rates being higher. So when red pill manosphere people tell you like, oh, you have all the time in the world to have children, bro, focus on yourself, queen, get that bag, like,
There's still risk
technically they're
involved.
correct. Physically, you do have all the time in the world, but that doesn't mean you should wait. Having kids is more than the ability to reproduce. You want energy to chase a toddler.
Yes, you still as a man are going to have some of those risks, though I think if we had to quantify them in terms of percentage risks, it's still lower for men of, you know, birth defects, of autism, certain forms of mental retardation, developmental issues, genetic issues, that sort of thing. Still, I think lower in comparison to women who are waiting until they're in their 40s to have a child. Sex is a reproductive act between a male and female. Anything else is fornication and lascivious activities. Yes, but the fornication and lascivious activities with the woman who is your wife are just ever so fun.
Around. You want your kids to have their father in their life for a long time. You want to see your kid graduate and maybe have children of their own. You want to give your parents grandchildren. You don't want to be a super old dad or mom. But if that's how it happens, that's how it happens, and that's great. Life is not a Hallmark movie, but it should not be the ideal for men and women. Like, if you are in a stable relationship, get married and have kids as soon as possible. Honestly, it's the stable relationship part I think people are having the most trouble with. It's easy to be like, find a wife and get married and have kids, bro. And it's like, find a wife? From where? The wife store?
Yeah, we'll just go down to the wife store and get one. You know, they're there on the shelves. You can take them home with you. Was that a cat noise? I don't know. I didn't hear anything. Maybe. She probably has cats. What a dog. Just don't carry your tritium-sighted pistol in the front of your pants. One of the reasons I will probably never own a marathon watch, because they still have tritium for the lume portions of the dial. Hence why they got the little radioactive symbol on the dial. Remember that. Remember, chat, especially America bros and Canada bros. Marathon watches are still standard issue for a lot of people in the US Army and the Navy and the rest of the armed forces. And they've got tritium on the dial for the lume. And tritium's radioactive. Just, you know, keep that in mind. Beta particles can't penetrate skin. No idea what that is. No idea what that is. But, okay. We did used to kidnap women from England and sell them at a marriage market in Horsens. I suppose that sort of thing is entirely out of the question these days. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Listen, I believe you will have that one day, Anon. I believe you will have that wife and daughter or son. You will have a little Diana of your own one day. You will hang those drawings on your fridge. Don't black pill. Don't doom. We're all gonna make it. Same to you ladies watching. If I can make it, you can make it. So what did you guys think of this? Have you played Pragmata? Did you like it? Did it make you feel those fatherly or motherly instincts? Is your biological clock ticking? Do you have baby fever?
TikTok,
if you like this video, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All Patreons get the raw, uncensored version of the video a day before it comes out, and I'm going to start doing live streams for Patreon members only, so that should be fun. And I will see you guys soon with a new video. A slop video, hopefully. Bye!
I don't think the next one's going to qualify as slop, though, because we're going to take a look at that right now. But I will go ahead and post the link in chat for everybody.
Why is the child sexy?
A little something from the outtakes there.